Hello everyone. So let's start with chapter 8, Cell, the unit of life, and it is in unit 3rd. As you know that the whole body of the organism is made up of cell. So we can say that cell is the basic unit of life, and you can also say it as the smallest unit. And the study of cell is called as cytology. Cyto means cell and logy means study. So study of cell is called as cytology. And father of cytology is Robert Hooke. Fine. So let's start with the very first and important topic, that is the discovery of cell and its part. Fine. So this is the very first topic of the chapter. Now in this topic I will be giving you the brief about the scientists who are involved in the discovery of cell and its part. So number one scientist which we are going to discuss is Robert Hooke, and you know he is the father of cytology. So what Robert Hooke has done in 1665, he has taken a thin slice of cork. You know what is cork? Cork is a part of a plant. So cork is when it is dead, and it is used as a lid to close the bottles. So Robert Hooke, once he has taken a thin slice of cork, and what he has observed is, in that thin slice there were many small hexagonal compartments. So hexagonal compartments were there in that slice of the cork, and later on he called it as cell, or you can also call it as cellulae, which is in Latin language, which means small room. So in short, the part of the plant is made up of small cells. So Robert Hooke has observed the cell in the dead part. So you can also call it as, or say it as, he observed the dead cell. Fine. Later on, the next scientist, Anton van Leeuwenhoek, he has studied cell, but this time the cell is living. So he has studied the living cell. After that, the third scientist is Robert Brown. Robert Brown has stained the cell, and he said that the cell is having centrally placed or darkly stained body in the center or in the periphery of the cell, which is called as nucleus. So who is responsible for discovery of a nucleus? That is Robert Brown. Please remember this. Then the nucleus was found in the orchid root cell. So nucleus was found by Robert Brown in orchid root cells. After that, another scientist named as Dujardin, he has discovered the semi-fluid content of the cell, which is called as sarcode by him. So sarcode was semi-fluid content of cell, and it was named as sarcode by Dujardin. So another scientist who came after Dujardin, and name was Purkinje, and he renamed sarcode as protoplasm. Now the next question is, what is protoplasm? So protoplasm is the semi-fluid content which is present inside the cell plus the organelles which is present there. So we can divide protoplast into two terms, or you can say two parts. The whole protoplasm is divided into cytoplasm and nucleoplasm. So you know very well, the cytoplasmic part is the part which is present between the plasma membrane and nucleus. Fine? And it is having semi-fluid content plus the cell organelles. Fine. अब सेल ऑर्गेनेल्स में आपको पता है बहुत अच्छे से कि माइटोकॉन्ड्रिया, जो आपने अपने प्रीवियस क्लासेस में पढ़ा है, क्लोरोप्लास्ट, एंडोप्लाज्मिक रेटिकुलम, एक्सेट्रा. So these all things come under the cytoplasm. The next is nucleoplasm, which is present in the nucleus, like chromatin, which is a thread-like structure. Then the nuclear membrane, then nucleolus. So these all things you are going to study later on in this chapter. So that is the protoplasm. And after Purkinje, another scientist, Huxley, he said that protoplasm is physical basis of life. So, same with protoplasm, there are three scientists associated. Number one, Dujardin, who said it is sarcode. That was renamed by Purkinje, who said that as protoplasm. And later on, Huxley said that protoplasm is the physical basis of life. So these are the scientists who were related to the discovery of the cell and its part. So I have told you the scientist. Now, as you know very well, with the advancement in the technology and the improvement in the microscopes, the scientists were able to analyze properly about the structure and the parts of the cell. So after that advancement of microscopy and technology, another scientist who came into picture, name was, and he was a German botanist, means he has studied on the plant cell. So the scientist was Matthias Jakob Skeldon in 1838. He observed the part of the plant and he said all parts of plant is made up of cell. So after Sheldon in 1838, soon after him, after a year, another scientist named as Theodor Schwann, in 1839, he observed animal parts and said it is also made up of cell. Now, what other things Schwann has said? Schwann has said that the plasma membrane is the outermost part of animal cell, and cell wall is present only in plant cell. So this was given by Schwann, and these two scientists, Sheldon and Sean together, they have given a very important theory, that is cell theory. According to the cell theory, it includes two main points. Number one, that all organisms made up of cell and its product, and the second important thing was cell is the structural and functional unit of life. So these are the two main points which was included in cell theory. But there was a drawback. In this theory, nowhere they have mentioned how new cell comes into existence. So in around 1858, there was another scientist, Rudolf Virchow. He said that new cell comes from pre-existing cells. Fine. And in Latin, it can be said as omnicellula acellular. Means new cells come from pre-existing cells. So you understand this, that one cell divides to give two daughter cells. This is how we get new cells. Now the cell theory, when Rudolf has added one extra important point, the theory is called as modern cell theory. So you have seen that in today's video I have completed the introductory part of this chapter. Now in next videos you will see the next topics of the chapter. Till then, keep learning, take care and be safe. Goodbye.